Good morning, everyone, and as always, thank you for being here. This morning, just a few hours ago, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office arrested our mother in connection with her young son's drowning. Tabitha Long, who you see pictured next to me, is charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child for the drowning death of her 9-year-old son, Bentley Long. On July 31st, around 2:30 in the afternoon, deputies were called to Bullfrog Creek in Gibsonton for a report of a 9-year-old who went under the water, yet never came back. The first deputy on scene arrived in less than 5 minutes, immediately jumped into the water, but was unable to locate and save Bentley. Our dive team arrived a short time later and located a young boy about 30 minutes after he went under and was never seen again. Deputies had made every attempt to revive him, yet were unsuccessful. He was transported to St. Joseph South, where he was pronounced deceased. His mother, 28-year-old Tabitha Long, was on scene along with several other individuals that day. She told deputies that her son went into the water without her permission, that he could swim, yet wasn't a strong swimmer. We know now that she wasn't being truthful. In fact, Bentley could not swim and was on her back as she entered the water. The facts in this case are appalling and only get worse. This mother, someone who should have had the utmost care and responsibility for her child, essentially had a complete disregard for his well-being. She chose to drink and get high over the safety of her child. Blood tests reveal her blood alcohol level was a .07 even several hours after the drowning, along with being under the influence of marijuana. This combination would certainly impair anyone's decision-making ability. Nonetheless, making the decision to put your child who can't swim on your back and walk out into deep water with a strong current was a deadly choice, a choice she made. This child will miss every memory that life has to offer. He will never grow up to achieve his dreams, whatever they may have been. All of this was taken from him because of a decision his mother made that day, to party over protecting her child. Although Bentley can no longer speak, we, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, will be his voice. And today, we will make sure the person responsible for his death is held accountable. At this time, I'll attempt to answer any questions anyone may have.
Sheriff, I remember when this happened, she had said to you that she tried to stop him from coming into the water. Was that all a lie?
It was all fabricated. She had her son on her back who didn't know how to swim. And I want everyone to remember, this wasn't an unfortunate accident where families go into Tampa Bay waters that can be tumultuous, and she wasn't aware of these waters. She frequents this watering hole very frequently, her and her family. She understands how quickly that water gets, how deep that water gets, and as quickly as it gets. She understands that the current can be strong. She understands that the muddy water is very hard to walk in. Yet she still chose to put her son on her back that day and walk out into deep water. Well, we all know, regardless of how strong of a person you are, even as strong of a swimmer that you are, you can't get into deep water and swim with anyone on your back. What happened is she was swimming, or she was gone over, the water got too deep, he fell off. She never even realized that he fell off. Her brother, who was on the other embankment with the other child, saw what happened, jumped in the water and went and tried to recover Bentley, and he was unsuccessful as well.
So this wasn't an accident, was this intentional?
I wouldn't say that this is intentional. I think this is certainly an incident where a mother who's responsible for protecting her child was too impaired to make a healthy and wise decision for her child, and this child is no longer here. This child is dead because of the choices that his mother made.
I know you were on scene that day. You were upset. Your deputy who tried to save him was upset. Hearing all of this now, looking back, how do you feel?
Still upset, still irate. As parents of a 9-year-old, as parents, we have to make the decisions to protect our children. Our children look up to us to make the right decisions. He doesn't know how to swim. Why would you have him on your back going into deep water?
Sheriff, can you talk about the evidence that contradicted her story? I mean, there were other people there, including a sibling of the boy. Was it a matter of the family members, the boy kind of contradicting the mother's?
And you're exactly right. It was witness testimony that led us to the truth and revealed the facts in this case, which make a lot more sense. The deputies that were on scene that day saw that she was heavy inebriated. They saw that she was heavily intoxicated that day. We knew that something wasn't right.
And can you talk specifically about the witnesses? I mean, was it a matter of one of her children saying, hey, that's not what my mom said happened, it's not what happened?
It was different witnesses. There was a maintenance worker, if I recall correctly, that was there on scene that day. There were some other witnesses, not just the children, who contradicted her statements that day.
But the children did.
I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to say that right now. I can't say that with all certainty. I just know there were several witnesses that contradicted what she said that day.
Thank you.
Detectives did a great job of drilling down and finding out exactly what happened that day.
Sheriff, to clarify, she didn't do anything to try to save her son.
Listen, I don't know what she could have done to save her son. What she could have done to save her son is not take your son, who doesn't know how to swim, into the water. So if you ask me if she did anything to save her son, I would say no. If she wanted to save her son, she would have left her son on the embankment or put a life jacket on him if she wanted to take him with her into the water. But I believe her judgment was too impaired, and this child paid with his life because of it.
Can you talk about what her response or demeanor was when she was confronted with the truth? And did she explain why she fabricated this and what her reaction was to being arrested?
All I was made aware of this morning is that, she was upset. She was visibly upset. When she was placed under arrest, they told her what, explained what her charge was this morning. She became visibly upset.
Has she ever admitted she lied?
I don't know that information at this point. Like I said, she was just placed under arrest. I don't know a few hours ago, I don't know the extent of the interview at this point.
Last question. It's almost been 2 months since this happened. Can you just talk about how it took 2 months to place her under arrest?
Yeah, unfortunately, to my dismay, it took 2 months to get the toxicology reports back to confirm what we already believed. So we had to get the toxicology reports back before we were able to, that was the final missing piece before we were able to obtain an arrest warrant and effect the arrest.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.